Nobody could trust them anymore. You understand what? It could be anybody.
They were evil, dangerous bastards. I would have been afraid they would have had me shot. I decided to get Reggie first. And we waited outside the flat in Stratford. I get a phone call saying Reggie's on his way. We decided to shoot him and cut his throat and leave him there as a message to the rest of his cronies. And he never arrived. So we decided to leave it to another night.
By now, Scotland Yard realised that people were beginning to laugh at the ineffectiveness of the police in arresting them.
They were embarrassing the police. Protection rackets were still around. Murders had gone unpunished. People are still writing about missing Frank Mitchell, missing Jack the Hat, the unsolved murder of George Cornell. Journalists are having a field day.
Their notoriety and their fame became an embarrassment to Scotland Yard.
My name is Maurice Harding, and in the 1960s I was a detective constable in the Metropolitan Police. May the 8th, 1968, I was home in bed here, fast asleep, about 3:30 in the morning. I got a telephone call from someone who told me to go to my office. When we were there, we received a telephone call to go to Tintagel House. Nipper Reed came in, stood on the box. Morning, gentlemen. We're going to arrest the Krays today.
I was on the Kray inquiry. Even my brother and my father, who were in the police force, didn't know what job I was on at the time. Wasn't allowed to tell anybody. I never told anybody. Nipper Reed, he went into the Krays flat. The milkman came at the same time. They had to clear the milkman out the way, say we're police officers.
When they got there, Reggie was with a woman and Ronnie was in bed with a 16-year-old boy.
I think somebody said, "Good morning, Mr. Reed," or something ridiculous. There was no fighting or anything like that. They were told we'd done the right thing, we'd got the right people, and all it was there was going to court and proving it.
The police came up to Birmingham and they arrested me up there. And they took me to a place called Tintagel House. I observed in the room itself photographs of all the firm. There were photographs of the twins, Ian Barry, Tony, Ronnie Bender, Ronnie Hart, Albert Donahue, Jack Dixon, so it was pretty serious business. And Nipper Reed says to me about the McVitie murder, as we've got it, you had nothing to do with it, tell us about it. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I don't know anything. I came up in a school where you didn't rat on your friends. Don't matter what it was. They kept their mouth shut and you kept your mouth shut. And he turned around and he said, I've had enough of you. He said, charge him with murder.
People would never ever talk about the Krays because they were so frightened of them until they were in custody. It was really, really in Nipper's interest that before we did anything else to arrest them, and having arrested them, we could then go on and get the evidence.
Nipper got a bit tense, wondering whether everybody was going to come forward and stick by what they'd said they'd say. I'd have been worried, I think, myself, if I'd given evidence against them and that you were on your own and somebody had come up and try and get rid of you. The girl that was the barmaid at the Flying Beggar pub, she witnessed the shooting of George Cornell in the pub. And we had to try and not talk her around, but just tell her that she was doing the right thing, but telling the truth. Very difficult. Took her kids out for walks, persuaded her that we were the right people.
Once the Krays were inside, this idea of a solid criminal firm who were all going to stand up for the Krays, and it virtually collapsed, with the exception of their brother Charlie and the Lambrianen brothers.
I couldn't believe any of the firm were going to turn, to be honest with you. I thought they were all loyal to the twins. It didn't matter whether it was King Kong or Little Billy round the corner. You didn't do it.
Albert Donahue is Reggie Kray's right-hand man. He acts as driver, muscle and collector of protection rackets.
He was a serious criminal, and I think of all of the firm, he probably had more respect. Pressure was put on Albert Donahue to take the pressure off of the Krays by admitting to crimes that he hadn't committed.
The twins asked him, yeah, but didn't ask him, told him. And that's what turned them people.